Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. This evening, we have 4 different parties that are in the Cape Metro. So tonight, we're talking about crime, and joining me is Ntsikelelo from the EFF, Ntsikelelo Kyandela from the EFF. We have Ndithini Thyido from the ANC, and then on my right-hand side, we have Akolile Notywala from the Good Party, and far right, we have Mr. Mzwakhe Mngqavashe from the DA. So can we just talk about the crime that seems to be getting out of hand? What seems to be the problem? I'll start with you, Ntsikelelo.
No. Thank you very much for the invite. The crime is a worrying thing in Cape Town, and seemingly lately it's escalating the way that we have never seen before. Contributing factors, obviously, it's gang related and drug dealing and extortion. So those are the contributing factors. But my view on it is that we've got a government that does not really have an appetite to fight it. Or if it does not have any strategy in place. And the strategy that is there now, it seems as if it's misplaced. And we are seeing even the government of the city of Cape Town is also misplacing how we should fight the crime in Cape Town. But maybe as we talk today, we're going to hear, because democratic alliances, I want to hear this strategy, especially from what they've resolved in, where they want powers. But I'm interested because now we are in the space whereby no one will be shutting our mics, no one will be telling us to go out and all of those things. I think people of Cape Town would like to know exactly what is their plan, so that we can guide them and teach them a thing or two, because now here there won't be anyone that will tell us to keep quiet or to go outside. But issue of crime, it's a concerning issue. And it affects the poor of the poorest, because you don't see it in Constantia, you don't see it in Camps Bay, you don't see anyone that's being gunned down each and every day. It was for the first time, in fact, today, where I saw a guy with a gun in CBD, and it was very surprising. A guy that was firing in Cape Town. In Cape Town, go to Kraaifontein, go to Nyanga, go to Khayelitsha. It's an everyday thing. You sleep peacefully when you don't. In fact, when you sleep at night, you don't hear any gunshot. It's like, hey, something is wrong. That's how normal crime is in our area. But
let's give it first to the ANC. Mr. Thyido, what do you think is going on in Cape Town? I mean, it's really bad.
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the invitation. Look, the crime situation in Cape Town is now reached a point where one can define it as a low-intensity war going around. And the most disappointing thing is that the levels of government looks at it in a different way, where they look at it like a political tennis ball, where you find the province. Let's start with the provincial government that's supposed to provide oversight, especially on policing. You don't hear them say anything. You don't hear them speak at all, as if nothing is happening. You come to the level of government, city of Cape Town, there you don't even know what's going on. Maybe Mr. Mngqavashe knows what's going on. They are very unrelated or uncorrelated things that are happening. One, it's a huge budget that is used as an experimentation for toys, for gadgets, for drones, for eye in the sky, all of these things you never got, but though you never had a report that says linked to this technology, this was prevented from happening. Because the very basis of policing is to prevent crime, is to prevent and combat when it happens. On the issue of prevention, read City of Cape Town's documents, you don't hear that word, prevention. Now that tells a story of a city that's, you can substitute prevention with something as facilitation, because it would appear that the City of Cape Town seemed to be let it go till a point where they will make a political statement about what they desire, some powers that are on top of what is prescribed in the Municipal Structures Act. They want to create a new state, a state where Cape Town will have. Here's the problem that I have, Mandilakhe, with these things with the city of Cape Town. It's even worse on their motivation for the devolution of police powers. They target certain powers which got nothing to do with prevention of lives, of loss of life in Philippi and Kailicha and Lavender Hill. They don't ask for powers to prevent people from dying. They ask for powers for investigation, which can easily be construed that they want those powers to prevent J.P. Smith from being investigated for criminal links. That is also a possibility. We've seen very nice thing. When it was Ian Cameron who was affected by a brick attack, I'm saying women, men, and children are murdered with guns and weapons of war. But this gentleman, this other fellow MP, Mr. Ian Cameron, got mobbed up with some bricks, and really all the technology was unleashed to trace in 6 hours. The criminals were tracked, arrested, identified, followed. Now the question that begs to be asked, for whose interest are these powers requested by the DA?
Mr. Ndithini.
So, crime is not getting out of control. Crime has been out of control. It's not a this month thing. I find it very problematic that we elevate this conversation because 3 white people were shot at. Well, they were not even shot at. They were attacked by a brick. They actually the ones that shot at the attacker. And that's the reason why I think we have not resolved these things, because we look at who it affects and then we jump. And for the DA, it's not a matter of appetite in the city and in the province. It's a matter of the fact that they're scrambling. They don't know what to do. They don't know what they are doing. They don't know what to do. They're wasting money, and they've wasted money. Up until today, probably close to 4 billion rands has been spent by the province on law enforcement, for the city of Cape Town. And today we're talking about crime. We're talking about 4 billion rand that has been spent since 2019 till now. And we are having this conversation. If the DA was successful, we wouldn't be having this conversation after that 4 billion rand has been spent. Instead, as I think Leader Ndithini has said here, the city should be investing in making sure that crime is preventable. That means we should be seeing more of a budget that goes to community services than we're seeing it that goes to safety and security. And I think the way in which we talk about crime as well, and the way we think about it, is that if you think about the Safety and Security Directorate in itself, language becomes very important, because the way in which you try and deal with crime, you need to start talking about community safety rather than safety and security. Because that language brings securitization, it brings these toys that are mostly, all of them, or most of them, are used in Israel, actually, by the IDF. So this type of technology is the technology that is used to surveil Palestinians. Very similar technology, which is going to be used to surveil black people in particular. It's not going to be used for safety purposes, because it doesn't seem like the DA wants to deal away with crime. Instead, it wants to police black people. And the policing of black people is what we see when homeless people are being fined. You can never deal with poverty by employing 1 million police. You will never do that. You need to deal with poverty by making sure that young people have skills. The DA is not interested in that, because we wouldn't be having a 16-year-old throwing a brick at a car. Doesn't matter the race, doesn't matter whoever. But those 16-year-olds, it's because, one, they are hungry, they are restless, they are on drugs. On these 3 things, being hungry, the DA is not doing anything for young people. Being restless, If you go to our communities and townships, there's no recreational spaces for young people to go after school. So what will they do? They'll pick a brick and they'll throw it at a car. And then you have the issue of unemployment and skills for young people, and the issue of drug abuse. Go to Manenberg, go to Kailash, go to any township and ask about a rehabilitation facility, a drug rehabilitation facility. That's not up to SAPS. It's up to the province and the city. And this is why I'm saying the DA doesn't know what they are doing. And they failed, and they will continue blaming the ANC. The ANC has to be blamed. But the DA has been governing in Cape Town for 20 years. You can't keep blaming a party that governed before you for 20 years. 20 years. You can't keep saying that it's the ANC's fault.
Mr. Ngabash, what seems to be the problem? I mean, all fingers are pointed to the DA. Is the DA the problem, or where is this problem? Or who should we blame for this? Or is there even anyone to blame?
So, Mandilakhe, thank you for having me. I see you in this studio. Yeah, it looks like my colleagues are pointing fingers in one party, which is the DA, and I'm going to unpack it. It's fine. Yeah, I'm going to unpack it. I think I will start at the devolution of power, yes, which will solve this problem. So, Notywala speaks about surveilling the point about surveilling people.
He said black people in particular.
Yes, he says black people, but there is stats. There is also, it's explicit. There is media reports wherein drones are very successful. Even private security, it has no color. I'm not going to mention whether it's owned by a white person or a black person. There's private security companies that are owned by various people of color. Drones are successful. Panyaza Lesofi, you know his color. He, as an example, he's a member of the ANC. Implemented Amapanyaza in the last financial year with drones. So a drone, this issue of drones is the argument by Notywala, I think it doesn't hold. Drones are not a DA thing. Drone technology is the latest technology that is very useful. South African police, we launched what we call it, a New Year festive season launch in Mitchell's Plain, Rocklands. South African police had screens, about 3, with Masemula and Minister Cele at the time. They brag about their own new fleet of about 4 drones that are showing clear pictures. So usage of drones has nothing to do with the Democratic Alliance. It's not intended to do what Mr. Notywala is saying from the Good Party. It answers the question, it assists the operational planning, it assists the pre-assessment of the risk. I must go back to the devolution, ma'am, to point out to you that why we're saying devolution is the Democratic Alliance is because the criminal justice system has got a lot of gaps. South African police, there were, I think in the last decade, there were supposed to be 19,000. The population has increased. It was on Cape Talk this morning. I think it was the former detective Basson who was confirming that the number has dropped just above 12,000, the number of police officers that are supposed to be on duty. They are resigning, they are not recruiting. Parliament as an institution keeps on cutting the budget of the South African police. So that's why the load and the lawlessness increases. The detective, it was on radio, it's forever on radio, that they sometimes get into cars, about 5 in a car, to go and speak to witnesses, to go and speak to complainants. That is not a situation where you run a South African police. SAPS was not like that 20 years ago. They were better off. In each community in Cape Town, remember, there is a police station in the community. We don't have that because it's in terms of the law. The city, you can't falter the local government for that. There is a police station which is supposed to be equipped with vehicles, with the right number of detectives. There is 8,700 on record positions of detectives that they are asking people to please apply as we speak tonight. So there is a gap in terms of detective. A detective is sitting with more than 200 dockets alone. That is a crisis we are in. So if you are an offender, you know, if your case comes today to Detective X, you're loading a 201 docket. You must still look at those 200 that he has. Maybe he's at number 9 and number 9. You can't prioritize. Then as an offender, you know that a court is going to be thrown out of the court. I mean, the case is going to be thrown out after 3 times appearance because the magistrate relies on the justice to say you mustn't be unfair if you're not ready. The person who's making you not ready is a detective. So as the city, the criminal justice system, that's why we're asking for devolution of power, the investigative power, because we must open a docket at Mandilakhe and end up at the desk of the police station, hand it over. Then that's where the family of this justice system starts. They connect the dots. It is a detective that must, the case will be registered and handed over to the detective to investigate, to talk to a prosecutor when he's ready, which is again a national government competence in terms of the law currently. The prosecutor must agree to that the case is prosecutable, then submit it for a date in court. The magistrate again is in the National Department of Justice. So the city doesn't, in order to fight crime, we need consequences. The offender, that extortionate guy, the murderer, must know that if I offend, it's like that in other countries. Botswana, our neighbor, need not to go far. If you offend, you know that your case will be finalized within 3 to 4 months, and then you will be sentenced. Lastly, on this point is that, remember we've been talking about crime. That's why you're responding now to Mkaya, Mr. Ndithini, Thyido, and Notyal. It's not about Ian and his colleagues that were thrown by bricks. That is why the LIP officers have been there. So we can't, it is very incorrect
So they've been there where?
I'll mention, I'll tell you now.
Okay.
They are now in the gang-infested areas, I'll mention. So it's incorrect to suggest that we are investing now of a crime because 2 white males were break. No. That's why LIP has been there. I'll tell you now, they are in Mitchell's Plain police station, instructed by subs, asked by subs to be there. South African police under the new minister Kachalia. And the other ministers, Bishop Levis, they are there, Reverend Smith, Philippi, Elsis, Delft, Glenfley, Manenberg, Lendagier, Grassy Park, Atlantis, Steenberg, and Musenberg behind us here. So those are the police stations where a South African police commissioner particularly says, City of Cape Town, I need your assistance to deploy LIP in this 13-station gang-infected police station. So we're there, guided by the station commander. Then that station commander sits with the crime stats, which SAPS has access to. We don't have access to crime stats. Our crime intelligence head for the Western Cape briefs the SAPS in terms of the law now. It cannot brief us. Then we must go there, and then that person responsible for that report will tell us where the hotspot, number 17 in First Avenue. Then they go and prevent crime and search and discover firearms, like you saw the firearms that were discovered. So that's why when I talk about investigation, which we're asking, and also the laboratory. When you fire a gun, it must be taken to the lab to be tested. Is this a gun? Before the magistrate listen to that story. So the lab, you know, we've got a lab for DNA, and I think there is one for ballistic testing. I can't remember the location, but the DNA one is in Plattekloof, you know it. It's solely under the National Government of Police, the Department of Police. If we can be given, not only us, even Panyaza can be given some labs to run so that we push cases in a geographical area of a province or a city, those that are capable. Then we can employ our own employees and at least have efficiency in dealing with those. Because if a case goes to court, remember, and the DNA samples that have been taken are not coming into the docket, the magistrate is forced in terms of the law, because it's unfair to the accused in terms of the South African law, to having outstandings before the magistrate trial the case. So those delays of the ballistic test, of the bullets, of the fingerprints, of the hair, of a rape, or whatever samples that have been taken that are not coming to be filed in a docket so that they can form part of the trial, causes that docket to be struck off the roll for temporarily while waiting for investigation. Investigation which is in a detective that has got 250 dockets.
Okay, Mangavashe, I'm going to cut you off there because you're laying it out thick, and I need to have questions in between because I have so many.
Okay.
You're saying that the LEAP officers are there. I asked you where. You told me about the stations.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you about, because you know I'm a reporter, and I was mostly a crime reporter for many years. So Hanover Park, when the LEAP officers were introduced into the area, many people were complaining there that 5 o'clock is Shaila time. The shootings don't stop. They don't have Shaila time. They shoot throughout the night. In fact, they wait until they leave. And when they are there, they do the stop and search. They play the role of traffic officers. So when you say that LEAP officers are there, what exactly are they doing? Because my understanding is that the city should be supporting the national government in its efforts to fight crime. But now it seems as if the city is trying to overtake, because when you're talking about the DNA samples also, then why not the Western Cape Health Department sign an MOU with SAPS to say, look, we've got labs. So can we then play the supportive role in, assisting with these DNA results that are never coming, And also, there's like you're talking about things that you are supporting, but it doesn't really seem like y'all are supporting, because there's an MOU that is standing right now that is for the DA to work, the city and also the province to work together with the national government. Where is that? Are you in a supportive role, or do you want to take the entire cake?
So, let me take you on the implementation agreement, right? So the motion, Chandela is part of the portfolio committee. I like this. Even Nochoala was in council meeting, including Dambuza. In fact, let me not include Bansi. I will spare you, Bansi. Sorry, I'm sure out. So part of our motion, Mandilakhe, is saying that the delayed implementation agreement, Mkuno signed with Alan Windy, President Ramaphosa, Commissioner Roberts, the agreement. But there is frustration on the agreement. It's not conclude. It was an agreement that there is an intent to work together. So the driver of this is supposed to be national government to share the intelligence. The intelligence is not shared, Mandilakhe. Remember, when the example you're mentioning about Manenberg, it's correct that at some time before 6 o'clock, officers has to hand in firearms and come back. We are supporting. I don't see you questioning where is the Hanover Park police station officers in this instance. We are supporting for a shift that ends at 6. It has to end. New people must come back. But we're supporting in a home of someone. It's like coming to your family house. The SAPS in Hanover Park is supposed to have an operational plan to curb that 2 hours. So I think you're reporting to this podcast an old shift system that was implemented, Mandilakhe. I can guarantee you now there is an overlapping shift that covers that hour, because criminals also understand that. That is why in Daft police station, you will find that they will burn tires closer to 6 o'clock when they protest. They know that South African police, they are changing shift at that time, so Daft will not be able to respond. So criminality also understand the shift change, but I cannot answer for subs. They are not here. But in terms of LEAP, there is an overlapping shift now to cover each area, but not too many members. The members must start at 6 in terms of the shift, and there's nothing wrong for them to knock on at 5. You can't penalize them there, Ms. Mandilakhe. So the lab, you're suggesting also that the clinics must get involved. No, this is a crime matter. The laboratories belongs to the criminal justice system, which is the Department of Police. So there's nothing wrong. We're not replacing it. We are saying devolve the powers, and it is within the law. The law is written as such that that's why Kachalia 2 weeks ago said he is willing to revisit this. When they formulated the constitution during 1993, 94, in the dawn of democracy, there was an idea of a unified state with one unique policing department. However, now the tables have changed, have turned. He has an interest to listen to the request of the city. So we're not saying devolve all intelligence. No, just certain part. And you still monitor. So, but we're struggling now. You can't fight crime and lager by boots on the ground. You need to have intelligence. So SAPS has got access to know what criminals are planning a week ahead through intelligence. They can.
Can we come in?
But I must finish off now.
No, yeah,
but it's unfair, I don't know. But because when you talk, you're gonna address me alone. So allow me to come back.
This is a podcast.
Assigned function of the laboratory, we're saying, support the participation on the cooperation agreement. Also, we're saying, Mandilakhe, that Jordan must proceed with this with JP, and I think I didn't touch on the JP issue when Kaya was talking about. I would urge that the podcast at least let's not mention people that won't be able to defend themselves. So we don't want this crime intelligence to protect anyone, but we want to be able to be given power to address
I will
crime.
ask this question in another way.
Okay.
Who will police the city of Cape Town police that will be trying to police?
iPad. So even now, the Metro Police, LIP, if they fire a shot by mistake, iPad take the firearm.
That's not true.
And then investigate the firearm, and then they report to the provincial commissioner. Chief Leroux is a firearm officer of Metropolitan Police.
You've given him too much time.
That's not true.
So
you've given him now. He's explaining too much. Now,
Metropolice are subjected. Metropolitan Police of Cape Town are subjected to IP.
But not
the city of Cape Town.
not Lip.
Not the city of Cape
Not law
Town.
enforcement.
Okay, one person is going to speak, and that is
Wait,
Nsike.
yeah. You know, let us not twist things here. Let us not start ngento zokugqibela here. The police of the DA must never escape our mind and how they conduct themselves. You cannot want powers to investigate. There was a crucial question. That is the truth of the matter. Now, Mr. Pin must not dare to look into that request. The new minister, Mr. Pin, the new guy, must not dare. Wait. Must not dare.
Let's be respectful, comrade.
It's fine. We're fine here. We have no issues here. He must not dare to look into giving these powers. He must just ignore that file and put it away. The mayor can make the noise and all the JP Smith and everyone. They must never give them that thing. What they need to look into. We have identified the issue that we have in city of Cape Town, or in Cape Town in particular, or Western Cape at large, is that there is a drugs and drug lords that are here, which are the contributing factor into gang-related matters, or killings, or fighting. Where do the drugs come from? Drugs are coming from Gauteng. They are not manufactured here. Why do you want to investigate? Why would you want to go and investigate, knowing so very well, what drugs are coming in Joburg? There's a national government of unity, or GNU, or whatever you want to call them. There's cabinet meetings that these comrades have between even comrade Ndithini.
That's fine.
Comrade Ndithini, ANC, and the DA. Why is it these comrades are not talking? Why is it that the Minister of Police is stopping the manufacturing of drugs that are coming and causing chaos in Cape Town? That is the conversation that the DA is supposed to have. 2, extortionists and some of the demands or commands are coming from jail. The Minister of the Correctional Services is in the GNU. Why are they not having that conversation there? Why would we want to have powers? The police of the DA, it is only to suppress black people. Black people are not striving under the DA leadership here in Cape Town. Let's make an example. It's good that he's saying he will serve in the same portfolio. Nice and good. And I was happy when the attack happened to a member of parliament of the DA, because for the past 2 years, if not 3 years, we've been asking for policing in that area. CCV cameras that we always question, where are these? Which one are working? I want chairman of this portfolio to deny it or agree with me. In the past 2 years, how many times in our sitting have we raised the issue of policing in that specific area? 2, CCTV cameras that we ask. If DA or City of Cape Town had appetite on fighting crime, that is a sport that we've been raising. We've been raising for the past. I want him now here. It's either to deny or agree. How many times have we raised it? Now that the member of DA has been attacked there, what's going to happen? They do not have appetite It's only to police us and want now to arrest our people and harass them.
So if it was, if maybe the DA wants to police us, we'll come to you now, Ndithini. So if they want to police us, then why are they not in Philippi, in this hotspot that you're talking about?
It's a right question, but the wrong person.
No.
The question is correct, like we are saying. We sit, you know, some of this, like we had Commissioner Roberts in one of the meetings where we raised these matters, actually. They sit in the meeting with police before they go out there. They are part of the planning that goes out. It's not that the police decides where to go. They've got a voice in those meetings before they go out. The city of Cape Town, as the portfolio, we've been raising issues in different areas. They will never listen to the councillors of the different political parties. They will never listen to the voices of the people that we represent. Remember, we've got different constituencies. If someone else makes the same noise, there's a different policing or the type of system that we have. Cape Town, CPD, and all the other areas got different system and different deployment. It's not the same as ours. But has it yielded results? Even the drones that we're talking about, how many arrests have any of this drone given to us? Or prevention at least? Because there must be someone that is watching it every day. Have you how many?
No. Look, Mr. Ngavash,
yes,
I think you are going to admit that. So the DA, City of Cape Town, is busy with the criminal activity. At the moment, the powers have not yet been devolved to the city for you to have a head of intelligence, regardless of where that person reports. That's a criminal activity by itself. The contravention of the law, because the powers have not yet been dissolved. But the DA is, Mr. Ngavash is confirming in the postcard that they have a head of intelligence who reports to SAPS. That's criminal. Let's just deal with that. But even if he were to say yes, it's not going to change the other fact. One fact is that there's a gentleman there by the name of Barry Schuler, who's responsible for technology, drones and cameras and whatever else. In my other life, we interacted with them just after the release of the Helen Zille Police Commission in Khayelitsha to deal with this thing about the CCTV cameras. We presented a full proof that was agreed by even J.P. Smith, strangely. But what is bizarre is that all the cameras that are there are monologue cameras. They are old version cameras who cannot see nothing. They are controlled some 35 kilometers away from where these activities are taking place. And that's deliberate. That's deliberate because the world currently is using the mobile phone that Mr. Ngavash is having in his hand, is using a different type of camera now. HD. Everything is almost HD and Wi-Fi based, and they've got 360-degree capability, the new cameras that are out there, which gives you a real-time and clear and stable picture. And the city does not invest to that. Here is another thing. There's a monumental failure of what that thing they call gun spotting. Short spotters. They sampled that thing in Mandilakhe. People kept on dying in Mandilakhe. That thing did not work. They privately now removed it to Lang. Even it's not spotting guns. That thing is not spotting shots in any other place else. What is happening? What we are dealing with here, we are dealing with a big ego J.P. Smith, who when he wants toys, he would take ratepayers' money, go and buy things that are of no effect or force of effect to the people of Cape Town. What is unfair for Mr. Ngavash is to want to convince us that the only reason for them to want for the devolution of power is to completely blue tick the high murder rate in Cape Town, only to want to gossip about it post facto. First, people must die. In the same spot where Ian was hit by a brick, 25 people died in the same exact spot. Mr. Ngavash is telling us in Cape Town that, Cape Town, please be quiet, wait till the 25 dies. We will then come back, if we are given these powers, to go and gossip about what could have happened to those lives. We can't be. Then we are not talking safety at all there. We are talking something completely different. Because I don't even believe that the committee itself has concerned itself about the prevention of violent crime. There are other issues that compound this whole question. The Piccoli and Judge Kate Oregon Commission made certain recommendations directed at the city of Cape Town as a means to curb crime. That includes street lighting, house numbering, access road, better ablution facilities. All of these were recommended by a commission whose recommendations are enforceable. And lack that too is in violation, actually is in contempt, is in contempt of court. Instead of investing all this money to all those things that were going to quell crime in these areas, Mr. Ngavashe and his friends chooses to ask for powers that they don't even have and are prepared to spend monies to go and ask for those powers. But still, the same things that they were asked to do, they have not done. So there's no reason to believe Mr. Ngavashe, as he was saying. JP Smith did not tell him that what he wants. It would look like this thing that they're asking for is to change the Metropolis to a personal militia for JP Smith.
And that's what it is. That's what law enforcement and Metropolis are. They are JP's personal army. JP is the chief extortionist in the fact that he extorted 4 billion rands from the provincial government for law enforcement.
That's not.
And it's failed.
Not fair.
And it's failed.
It's not fair to call a public rep an extortionist without having him being charged. It's not fair.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You call
without facts. Without facts.
Actually, he should be charged.
Okay.
Who was not
fine.
being charged.
So then he must move on from that point.
Then he must
move on from that point,
No,
because if you feel that he is an extortionist, please go to the police and open a
then he
case.
must open a case.
Yeah.
If he's,
So
Ngapathe, but no, can I just make the point that I wanted to make, particularly about a lot of things that he's said, which either don't make sense, or it's deflection or it's lies. The DA has the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee of Police. It's a DA member, Ian Cameron. So it doesn't make sense that you are the chairperson of the police of SAPS, and at the same time you are working against SAPS. Because his call for devolution is to say, I don't have trust in SAPS. Then why are you there as the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee of Police? Because he doesn't have trust in SAPS. The fact that he's calling for devolution. So that's the one thing. Secondly, the point that was made here, the DA must stop talking as if they are not part of national government. They are in cabinet. They are in the executive. They are in the GNU. So they cannot continue blaming national government. They are part of national government. And it's very true, the fact that the biggest problems on top of drugs, which are consumed by young people, it's the issue of infrastructure. And part of the reason, and I don't have issues with technology being used to assist the police, but I'm saying in the context of Cape Town, in places where there's no public lighting, how do you expect a drone to work there if it's dark in that community? They will tell you there's light. You know the type of lighting that you'll find in townships? It's high mast lights. Those lights were installed by the apartheid government for surveillance. They are high up to make sure that the army of the apartheid government can see where black people are moving. That's why those lights are there. They are not there for public safety, but you only see them in townships. And you know what the effect of those lights are? Even if you have a drone, even if you install CCTV cameras, because the CCTV cameras or the light is going to be on top of a CCTV camera, which means still it's going to be dark. That's the infrastructure problems that we're talking about. So you can have many drones, you can have many CCTV cameras. If you don't deal with the apartheid infrastructure that exists in Cape Town, you are wasting money. That's why I'm saying JP is an extortionist and taking money from province and waste it. Take money, not on even within the city, because the money that is going to employ 500 Metro or LEAP office, 700, I think, from this budget, that money comes from housing, that money comes from water and sanitation, it comes from community services, it comes from needed services, and it's going to fund JP's army. And that's the reality. Those are the facts that we must talk about when we talk about this issue of crime.
So, are we considering other avenues, like for instance, to fight crime, except for devolving policing powers, except for the drones and the gadgets, are you considering as the DA, are you considering maybe there's the social issues that were highlighted here before going to the minister of police? Let's first fight poverty. Let's first get the street lights working. Let's get the ablution, like Ndithini said. Because this was part of the commission of inquiry into the violence that was happening in Khayelitsha, that is still happening even years later.
So I think we mustn't run away we mustn't run away from the crime issue that we have in Cape Town. Remember, our conversation began exactly there, Mandilakhe, that what are we doing? We see the escalating levels of crime. What are we doing? And we have to respond. We have to respond to it. It's an everyday. It's an everyday issue. You saw in Mitchell's Plain, particular commissioner was there, the discovery of many firearms that were discovered in a house. So if we're not addressing it, we see that the machine is not working. We see it in Cape Town that the criminal justice system is not functioning the way it's supposed to function, and it's going to take us time sitting in the condition we're sitting at, where the levels of crime are escalating. So it's not going to help us to accuse JP by Nojoala, how he accuses him of extorting the provincial government. I don't know how does he unpack that. How can a councillor extort a sitting sphere of government? But it's for him it's for Nojoala to expand on that. On the CCTV, Mandilakhe, the portfolio committee, we're coming from a portfolio committee, myself and Chairperson Uchande, that there is a lot of successes that they are detecting in terms of crime, in terms of actions, that the movements that are leading to arrest, violation of the dumping. For instance, the dumping, there's 171 in the last quarter, dumping offenses that have been picked up. So the stats is there. The portfolio committee is a public
So I don't think that it's like you cannot bring dumping statistics.
I'm making an example. I'm scrolling up. I'm scrolling up.
And I'm kind of uncomfortable that you are reading these things. This is something that you should be passionate about, that you should be wanting to stop crime, that you should be wanting to fight crime.
For instance.
And this is something that should be coming from your heart.
So he's also admitted that crime is escalating.
Remember,
Mandilakhe,
the point I'm trying to drive, let me not be interrupted, relax. Because the three of you are taking me here. So give me time.
We are taking crime, we are taking crime.
You are taking
It's not about
crime.
Don't take it personal.
So for instance, now I'm not taking personal, look at my face. So the metal theft, those things, for instance, Mandilakhe, theft, attempted murder, for instance. So the point I'm driving here, I'm not going to read stats, but this is a podcast. I'm trying to illustrate to you that cameras, it's not true that to the statement just to say that cameras are not working, because there is tracking mechanism in government, which is in the city level, it's a portfolio committee, and we do get reports of which camera is working, where, how many crime states has been detected by camera that led to an arrest. We do have that statistics. We were receiving it today. So on the point of you asking me why are we not doing something else, we can't go to other aspects that are outside our department. It is the right thing to do a safety and security within our cluster, within our sister department, national and provincial, to ask for what is right. So what is right here is that they must devolve the powers. It's an ongoing discussion that we will have. But what are we doing currently? What we're doing currently, we've deployed, like I said, accounted for you 13 police stations. There's no use of rereading them again, rehashing. So there are operations that are running as we're sitting here.
No.
They are on a daily basis operation in all our areas, in Khayelitsha, in those areas that we so-called them in this podcast that they are neglected. They are part of the police station. I've read to you that the LIP, including law enforcement, traffic and metro police, have been asked to deploy there and assist SAPs. I will mention you the operations that they are busy with. They are busy with They are busy with anti-gang unit, in the national anti-gang unit. They are busy with Operation Shanyela. They are cutting off and searching houses and discovering, a firearm and ammunition. So, really, what do you want the city to do? Because the city wants to resolve this. The city understands that the criminal justice system has been constrained by lack of resources, and we are proposing a solution to it, Nojoala, by saying, open up and devolve certain powers that will assist the city. We've got the energy, we've got the resources, but we can't tap into that now.
But we are starting.
We're opening a case. Remember, any offender a case must be opened.
Can we admit that?
No, it's not your Kubel.
No, it is.
It is a bottleneck.
My comrade here has highlighted critical.
Can I conclude? No, can I conclude?
No, but you must respond to the issues that we are raising, because maybe you don't grasp where we are coming from. Maybe you are coming here with a policy. Because let us.
But let me finish off, because now you will let me finish. You only have an opportunity to ask specific
so I'm
questions.
going to give you a minute, and then when we're done with that, we're going to read the comments.
Absolutely. So the in terms of high mass light, it's not true that the high mass light are an apartheid. No, that's wrong. I don't know if you travel, Mr. Mchwa. High mass light.
Why are they not in Seapoint?
Wait. High mass light. They are not even in Parklands. Don't isolate Seapoint.
Yes,
Target Seapoint.
exactly.
Yeah.
But
They are not. They are not. No. Remember, high mass light is a request of a community, and they do provide lighting.
No, that's wrong.
Thirdly,
That's not true.
wait, Gokul, wait. I must like.
Okay, is there now the community don't want them? They don't want
We're
They're
not gonna
apartheid
conduct public.
invention. They are.
Okay, guys.
I must lights are not unique
okay,
to
all
Kevin.
right.
To step me with my minute. I must
No,
lights are not.
you're over a minute, so I'm going to take charge now.
Okay.
So, and also, I just want to let everyone know that every view that is expressed here is not of Cape Conscious Media or Mandilakhe Tshwete. These are political politicians, and this is what they do in council if you never watch it. So Jeremy van Wyk said, and this right here is the proof why the political parties who are fighting for rights, safety and protection in our communities need to intelligently collaborate to bring about the solutions. The very people who are worst affected is not even part of this podcast, and that right there is the problem. And so the bloodbath on the Cape Flats will continue. Alan, as Premier, is absent. Has he said anything? Okay, that's just a view. So can we just go to those, not even the CCTV camera does not prevent anything, as we said today in portfolio committee. Oh, that's the NCC guy.
Yeah.
Can we go to the questions?
While you go to the questions, it's correct. CCTV is not gonna know who's going to kill his wife or which gangster is going to fight.
No, but that is not what is argued. We see that is lowering the discussion.
No, I'm not lowering the guy. But it cannot be
but if it's true,
that is a useless investment.
It's not useless, but it's selectively used only to protect the white and the rich in Cape Town. That's the point we're making. We're not saying it's useless.
But there are more CCTV in Khayelitsha than any township.
Let me tell you something.
People in Khayelitsha are not white.
Wait.
They are working.
Let me help this gentleman here.
Maybe we can have said so that.
Let me help you. Look, Mr. Ngavash, can you confirm right here publicly who authorizes what is called license plate recognition? What group is that?
No, there's no grouping that license.
There is.
We don't. The city doesn't license that, so you can't ask me things that are outside.
No, it is because JP Smith actually recommended us to them as a group. There's a group of white in the leafy suburbs who makes determination of whether or not you can use a camera with that capability. Now you can't come here, and that's on record. This is on record. It's not really.
But we must discuss CCTV that are owned by the city. I'm willing to beg to put my foot. Now you are bringing a question to me on a briefing you had with JP in a corner.
That's an authority
Ask
to use
me
these
about
cameras.
the CCTV of the city that is in the street.
Okay, here's one comment I want to make. Mr. Ngavash, you are still within the commitment you've made to national government in terms of that memorandum. You still signed to it, is it?
It's an intent.
Okay, you are still a signatory to the intent.
Absolutely.
While still a signatory in the intent, but you initiate another process. Why must the Cape Towners trust you? Because you went on to lie to the president of the country. You signed Mr. Jacobs, what is it, Mr. Roberts, the head of Metropolis, went on to sign. Whilst that thing is still active and going, you start another process.
It's not active.
But also
No, it's not active.
Councillor Ngavash, you admitted yourself the failures.
I didn't admit no failures.
You just said crime is
So you're denying
escalating.
them.
You said crime is escalating.
We also see the crime is escalating. It's not a Ngavashi issue.
It's a Ian Cameron issue.
I'm not talking.
Let me not disturb you. Okay.
I'm not talking about you as a person.
Okay.
I'm saying you're saying crime is escalating.
Absolutely.
But I'm telling you that the DA invested 4 billion rands, which means that the 4 billion rand is wasted if crime is escalating.
It's not.
Yes. You said crime is escalating.
Can I tell you why
You
it's
said
escalating?
twice in your statement.
Yes, can
Okay,
I
I'm telling
point
you.
it out to you? The reasons are that there is circulation of illegal firearms. Okay.
We are going to the
We'll
comments.
talk about the illegal firearms after this.
Okay. The crime syndicates runs wider than the police. There will never be enough police. Do we believe that there will never be enough police?
Yes,
There'll never be
That is why you need crime prevention initiatives.
And crime
That's why that's why you have to you have to light communities. That's why you must have streets and access roads. That's why you must have numbers. Mr. Ngabasha makes a very, very bizarre example. When a person is raped, Mandilakhe, in somewhere in Kanino or in Ndlovin or Kosovo, that person, even when they have an opportunity to report, they are unable to say what number, what house number is it, because the city of Cape Town doesn't even care that there are house numbers. Even those who can report. So this issue doesn't start with devolving powers. It starts by dealing with infrastructure, so that those who can report crime can then be able to. There's something called geo-reporting as well. So, Mr. Ngabasha, please, my brother, let's not lower the bar.
No, the reporting
There's
crime,
a-
we're not lowering the bar.
Wait, there's a comment here that I really need to read. According to the October 2022 firearm inspection, the city could not account for about 31 firearms since the amalgamation of the city of Cape Town and local municipalities. Can Councillor Ngabashe respond to this question?
No, we responded to that long time, even in the portfolio committee, the public knowledge.
Where are the guns?
The answer to that, those are the firearms of previous, before the amalgamation of the municipalities as a city, not under Chief Leroux while we were Unicity from 2000. So it's an old.
Where are the guns?
It's the past.
Where are the guns now?
In simple,
Are they in
guns
circulation?
now are
Are
getting
they in
lost?
circulation killing people, or where are they
the
now?
guns, check the Prince Law report. The guns are getting lost under the armory of the South African police.
No, we're asking this
Out there.
specific 31. Where are
No,
these
you
ones?
can't ask him about the apartheid years guns that were not accounted for. I'm here for the city, not an old municipality.
This is an
regime.
apartheid city, though.
Prince Law, the captain who is in charge of Subs Armory, you know the report is out that firearms were lost and firearms are circulating. And these firearms will LIP and traffic officers and Metro Police, all our services in the city, collect these firearms and send them back to the police station.
Is it true that
And
in the
yet-
new,
And the police station is
in the new
supposed-
recruitment that you did now for trainees, for the last 2 months they've been not paid their stipends?
No. You see now,
Okay, I'm moving on to the
podcast
comments,
is-
guys. So now
We
the
can't-
Khayelitsha Community Policing Forum chairperson Phindile George.
Yes,
ne?
I know him.
So he just wrote here, all 24 cameras in Khayelitsha are not working.
That's not true.
Can I finish?
Relax, speaking.
Relax, guys.
Those 3 or 4 working are not seeing anything due
Exactly.
to not being serviced. They are reviewed or monitored in Goodwood. It is a waste of taxpayers' money. Perhaps we should call for devolution of powers of Metro Police to be run by sub-councils for effective crime fighting, as these LIP officers are not seen on the ground.
So it's not true that the cameras are not working. The cameras are effective. I'm looking at the report of the
People on
cameras.
the ground don't
Can you
believe.
tell George to
Abantu
check that?
abayazi, lo lokho
So George, you know that as CPF, in fact, detectives of the 3 Khayelitsha police stations in Khayelitsha do go there and ask for the cutting of the clips on the cases that they are investigating. So you can't then, Mr. George, say what you're saying, that the cameras are not working in Khayelitsha, where we see success. Because to tell your South African police to
But
go
Chairman,
reporter.
But now you're becoming George. Come on.
But you've seen multiple murders and you've never seen a camera. And 3 of those happen
I'll
under
make an
cameras.
example. Let me make an example. I'll make an example, Ngabashane. In July, there was a shooting at the taxi rank in Mfuleni.
Do we have a camera there?
Can I?
Why we don't have them in
May I please, can I be protected? Ngabashe.
And there's no
So
felicity parties.
there is a camera there, you know. So, and let me tell you where that happened. Across the road from the Mfuleni taxi rank is that satellite police station, the SAPS one. And then on the other side is the city police, office. And there is a camera there. And I'm telling you, even today, there's no one that was arrested. So what I think what people are saying, because I just saw now, even Utatu Leonard Ramatlakane has just said the same thing, that in Bishop Lavis, Bonteville, Valhalla Park, the cameras are not working for 10 years. So my thing is, if maybe we could fix these things that are on the ground before we go to national government asking for devolution of powers, can we fix these things that may actually help?
Mandilakhe, if the debate is meant to withdraw us from the asking for devolution, the rally is wrong. We're not going to back off
no,
from that.
No, it's not that.
So
I'm
we're going to force you to abandon
it. It is a question, it is a question that should we not maybe get the house in order and then we go to national department and say, the police and say, you know what, we have done this and this and that, but we feel that we can do more. Now, can you give us these certain powers?
It is a comprehensive document that Jordan submitted to back then.
That does not make it correct. It does not make it. It was a Bible.
He resubmitted to Mtunu. He is meeting Chakalia now, which you were talking about.
Even if it was big as a Bible,
it's Kachalia government.
Of Kachalia.
Yeah, Kachalia.
Don't pay him,
which demonstrate all the efforts that we have embarked on in the past, and they are not working because it's blocked by the criminal justice system.
Because
we can arrest every criminal. Now we put him in the cell. Tomorrow is going to be released in court. It's outside of
but the problem is we are looking.
The CCTV.
See, that's the problem.
The CCTV camera. When people are.
Why don't you devolve the courts then?
But the courts are under the criminal justice.
But why don't you devolve them?
That's
the justice minister.
Why don't you devolve the courts?
Thinking
you
is
wanting us
already
to ask for devolution of courts.
Are
you urging us? But it's not going to help. Remember, the court is waiting for a case that must be investigated properly, with supporting documents in the docket, trialed in the court. So there is no issue with the charges and magistrate. There is no constraint.
So stop saying criminal justice system. Then don't say criminal justice system.
It is the criminal justice system.
Be specific about your desires, your political desires as the TA.
The policing part?
No, the politicalities. There's no
I'm talking what is the need. The policing part of it, the prosecutorial part of it, including some courts.
Take out JP Smith's hands. Take out JP Smith's hands.
Our motion is very clear.
So one thing,
let's prevent murder in Lavender Hill.
How do we prevent murder if we don't have crime intelligence?
No, simple. Be committed to what you signed for. To support SAPS. Don't initiate your own things.
It must not be the debate of the GNU.
Oh yeah, the GNU. Yes.
Preventing the circulation of firearms, including the murder. You need crime intelligence statistics to understand how are the criminals operating.
So why don't we have a bylaw? Why don't we have a bylaw?
A bylaw that speaks to crime intelligence. You can't. So
I have one person at a time.
Sure.
I will point you, and if I do not point you, please do not talk. Even if you want to respond. I'm taking back my house. I am your
speaker now. Now you are becoming a speaker.
Let's hear your views.
I think, Kavashe, what Mhlambi, maybe you think we're fighting DA here or you per se, that is not the case. I think we're trying to paint something that maybe you are really not taking into consideration, which we are saying. Are you not starting in your there are other contributing factors to the crime that is being committed in our areas. We have named here a number of them. Our communities are in squalors. Our communities don't have numbers. Our community don't have a proper housing. Our community don't have proper streets. Have we had and city prioritize these things that we are talking about? Because now you are focused about getting these powers, but you are forgetting what contributing to this matter, which it's the last thing. Start together, you as your Mako, start talking about where are we building street? When are we building houses in this area so that people that live on top of each other are not now living on top? Because what is contributing, it is that I'm living on top of someone else here, and this person is invading or is in my space, whereas that person does not even have any space to go to. Who has the space? We've got government that is in place that should provide and should prioritize those things. Don't you think your focus is elsewhere? You should go to this, which is it is the number one contributing factor that our communities are not getting from you. Don't you think that's the case here? That is the question that I want to pose.
Can I add to those questions
Okay.
before he answers? Can I add before?
Okay, you can answer.
Okay.
Make it 30 seconds.
I'm giving a minute. He's not going to
3 minutes. No. Mandilakhe, no.
Give him a minute.
Uyandela asked me for 3 minutes, then I must answer in 30 minutes. No.
Give him a minute, it's fine.
Mandilakhe, you said you're asking us here to talk about the devolution. So I wouldn't want us to go comprehensive on the housing development and the high rise. Was it's going to be too big? Okay. Although there is a contribution, of course, but I mean we're digressing. Let's arrest the need for devolution of power. We're not starting with the last thing when we're asking this in the 1 minute that I've been given to respond, Chandel. Because as I've specifically unpacked it, maybe I will be sounding like a stark record, but I must rehash it. All the firearms that are illegal, owned by criminals, we taking them in huge numbers from Maneuver Park, Gugule to Kaili, Chafilipi, taking them to a police station. In the police station, then the case gets stagnated from there because of the reasons I mentioned earlier that the detectives are overwhelmed. If you devolve that power, we will have detectives, we will work with those detectives that are still in the system, but the organization will be transformed. The local sphere of government takes over investigating these cases. We are able as a city of Cape Town to table them before the magistrate court with ourselves. Then at least the process, the efficiency improve. A criminal, when it offends, when he's found with 2 firearms, 10 firearms, knows now that he's going to be sentenced, because now the city drives this. Because we've been watching our big brother national sphere of government. We're in GNU, you're correct. I'm not blaming them, but we've been watching the scene, whereas they are failing. We have to call it they are failing. So that's why I mentioned there is a police.
Comes with a golden glove, so what they are clean, they'll do it right.
No, I'm not saying we're clean.
So that's
I'm
what
not saying we're clean.
Because you're saying steps, they'll do it. They are not able to do
But
it. We've got this clean way.
We must be given an opportunity to run this process until a magistrate hears the case.
You're not dealing with the root cause, though.
Exactly.
You are duplicating.
The root cause is the criminal.
You are removing steps. You are putting.
I'm not blind of the social economic issue. I'm not blinded by the social economic.
Guarantee.
All right.
It does not guarantee.
So,
if you put metropolitan
Test us by giving this power. Sorry, Mandilakhe.
Ngabasha, I think I'm going to end the live here because you guys are unruly. You are not behaving.
Can I just?
So
my last
I just
point.
want to, let me just, because we are here to talk about not just devolution of powers. And we would really be, I don't know, blind or something if we're going to talk about crime and not talk about the social ills that come with that, which is why he's going to talk about building houses, because you can't fight crime when there's still poverty. That 16-year-old that was arrested, he was doing that probably to put food for his family on the table. Not that I'm excusing what he did or allegedly did. All right. So we will have discussions about that, Navash.
Okay.
You understand?
Fair
so,
enough.
Ndithini, you wanted to make a point.
Yes, the point I just wanted to make with utmost respect to Mr. Navash. Mr. Councillor Ochoala was raising an issue that in our localities there are no diversion programs. this municipality has cleaned itself or is playing hands-free as it relates to drug rehabilitation centers, youth diversion programs. But here is a very strange thing that Mr. Ngabashe may also know. Why did MP Cameron carry a gun on an oversight work? This is a member of parliament responsible for police oversight, but he goes to do a private DA political party oversight, because they were all three DA MPs in the corner of the committee. But bizarrely, that MP, that chair of the portfolio committee, had a gun with him. Now, you see, these things, sometimes we really sympathize with the incident that would have happened to the MPs. But it leaves a lot of things to be asked. Now, the chair of the portfolio committee, who exercises oversight, he himself felt that he must arm himself. But there is a woman who takes a taxi to work in that space every day. They have no gun. Now you see, when Mr. Ngabashe says these things, we are not saying these things to try and score political points. There's nothing to score for all of us. I think all of us, we need to stick to the correctness of the South African Constitution, that policing should be aimed at crime prevention and combating. All these other things that Mr. Ngabashe is talking about, they've got nothing to do with all of that. Because Mr. Ngabashe says, post-death, post-violence, then they will wait somewhere in a police gate and wait for some power to process a docket. By that time, that docket will be accounting a dead body. Now Councillor Ngabashe wants us to sit here and accept that first people must die for them the day to go around and collect statistics.
Can I?
Are we, can I just ask this, Councillor Notywala? Is crime politicized in South Africa? Could that also be the problem, or be a matter that hinders crime fighting and crime prevention, because it is so politicized?
It is, and it is politicized, and it's unfairly done so. And I think we must separate the politicization of crime from understanding, because this conversation, it means that it takes us to understand that crime is political. It should not be politicized, but it is political because of the issues that we are discussing, particularly the socio-economic issues, which are political issues. Therefore, crimes become political. But I want to touch on the point that Councillor Ndithini Thyido has just said now. And I want and it would be great to get an answer from Councillor Ngabashe on his view. Particularly, again, Ian Cameron as an MP, as a member of the legislature. We are all members of legislatures as councillor at the local level. Council is a legislative space. Are we also allowed to carry guns if we do oversight? Or is that reserved for Ian Cameron? Secondly, the leader of the EFF is in court because he carried a gun. He didn't shoot anyone. Again, this is not excusing people's behaviors. He didn't shoot anyone, and the whole country or majority of people have been against the fact that he carried a gun and he shot something. An ANC councillor in some municipality, I think this month, carried a gun in council, and he was admonished. The DA spoke against that. The EFF spoke against that. Why must we be quiet? Or why must it seem like we're defending criminals when we're asking the same question about a DA member of parliament? Even not just any DA, the chairperson of the portfolio committee of police carries a gun during work hours. It's the same as that ANC councillor that went with a gun to council, because that's a workspace. Ian was in the workspace. Julius Malema was not even in an official public space. It was an EFF event, but he's in court and he's being demolished. So let's engage on that in terms of who's treated. And it's not even about Ian Cameron's race or the people's race there, but it is about the different parties, how they are treated, how the media interrogates the different parties and the different party leaders of these parties. And I think that's something that becomes very important, particularly with what I've highlighted now.
Is it fair to put Ngabashe in a position to answer that?
No,
yes,
that's
yes, it is.
when.
He represents Ian.
So that's why I'm saying I would like to hear his view.
Unless he says he represents Ngavash as Mkwati in his clan name. But if he's here as a DA, he represents Ian.
Okay, fine.
Let me start with the
let's hear.
socio-economic. I think we don't lose that point quickly. Oh, sorry. So Chandela raised it, and I agree with you. It has to be linked. Nochoala also raises it. In a country where the economy is the economic growth is 0.6% in 2024, so we're crying, we're begging that at least it can grow faster. Now I'm talking as a country now. So we have a strong economic growth during President Mbeki's time. So our economy is not growing. So, but you can't apportion that to a political party like Democratic Alliance. Our country economy is not growing. People are moving from rural communities to Johannesburg, to Cape Town, Durban, and Tshwane, Kuruleni. So it's a financial problem, not a DA as a party problem. Passing to that, so Ian Cameron's case that you're mentioning and you're comparing, I think let us not blame him for carrying a firearm in a site visit, because it's a licensed firearm. Number two, you're comparing it with the president of the EFF in East London, where, if I recall, I can't speak on his behalf, but he denies having that firearm. So here you have an Ian who carries his own licensed firearm. I can't remember Julius agreeing to have that firearm. Ian, you remember, if you have a private firearm, you can carry it anywhere. He's not in Parliament. He's in Philippi.
No, it's doing parliamentary work.
It doesn't matter.
It's doing parliamentary work.
It doesn't matter.
So I can carry a firearm doing a site visit as a council.
You can carry a firearm if you're licensed. You can.
Is it now?
It's a private firearm. It's allowed. It's in law. In South African law, it is.
So the officials from City of Cape Town can carry firearms when they
carry
do.
your firearm for private defense. So
Officials when they're at work.
But at work, it's not. Then it's not private because you're at work.
But guys, it's legal.
We're not disputing that.
Nobody's questioning.
Don't be surprised that when he carries it when he goes to Philippi for a site visit. So that's my point. Okay. And then because he's responsible to defend himself, he has been issued by the South African police that gun in terms of the license. Remember, him and they have affirmed him, protect yourself. You are duty bound, and also you are fit enough and capable to protect yourself.
But you're not understanding the question. The question is that right?
But
that
you are comparing it with Julius, who was in a rally. That's President Malema. This one is in a site visit in Philippi, and he chose to carry a firearm. There's nothing wrong.
You're being selective.
There's nothing wrong.
I also compared with an ANC councillor that was in council.
I don't have those reports. Ian was not in council. He was in
he was in work.
But parliamentary work,
not in chambers. You're comparing again a case where a person is in chambers with Ian, who's out there, who is in a war zone where there's no brick in chambers. There's no throwing of a brick in a window when you are in chambers. So I will agree with you. If you are in a chamber, in a seat in Cape Town and Parliament, there is less chances, Mkaya, of being thrown a brick.
Was that incident staged?
Point now, you see,
was that incident staged?
That was thrown. So it shows you Ian was in a volatile area. So you can't blame him for carrying an illegal firearm. If he was carrying an illegal red, we would be talking something else. I would criticize it.
But council itself is a volatile area now in Cape Town.
So can I just
councillors are being
but we were suffocating councillors in council.
Councillors are being strangled, so it's a volatile area.
I'm gonna bring my firearm. It's fine. That's what we are saying.
And someone being strangled.
But to protect ourselves.
Councillor
Dambuza was strangled in council.
Are we going to argue that Councillor
But must we carry firearms? That's a question.
Councillor Dambuza was being held by his
but now we are insulting our intelligence.
all right.
But we are insulting our intelligence now. That is not true.
Okay, I just want to ask something there. There's something very important that we need to ask about the devolution of powers.
Yes. Sure.
Where is the budget going to come from?
Yes.
So, remember, when we say devolution of power or devolution of power, whatever you pronounce it, a budget must follow the function. Right?
Okay.
So we're asking for devolution of power. The city has got its own budgeting mechanism in terms of the MFMA. They are operating.
But there's no function yet.
So we're saying devolve the power, and in the negotiating of devolving the power with the Minister of Police, that's where on the budget. But you're correct, it cannot come without a budget, because what will that budget be left behind for? If you're giving us a portion, if you're giving us 60% of the intelligent work, then that function must be followed by a budget.
So national government must also fund this thing.
They fund all the grants. The local government is not new. Yes,
Okay.
of course.
So quickly. You are prioritizing. They are critical. Wait. There are critical things that are happening currently in Samora. Currently in Samora, the roads of Samora are bad. 2, the extortion in Samora is bad. So we go to Kraaifontein, you go to Delft, you go to Danun. All of these, they've got something that is common. You are begging and continuously sitting with government saying, we want these powers. You are not prioritizing it. We should be getting funding and fast tracking the backlog that we have in terms of 2. Your officials are unable to do work in our areas. Because of extortion. But when all you are waiting for, like Ukido is saying here, you are waiting for extortion to happen and people to be or not arrested just for you to get a docket to investigate it. You are not having any framework to fight that, to prevent that. That is where you should be focusing on. People in Kukuletu, people are not able to do businesses. A boy was killed, a boy from NY6 just now. He's making a small business, Anyan. I forgot his name at 156. I think that's where the boy was killed. Young people are not able to make businesses in our areas. There is no there is no young person that has an appetite to open a business just simply because there is extortion that is happening.
Here's Mike. Come and speak this side from the ANC side. Come. Come this side.
Young business people, not only young. When I check, no.
The governing party like a deer, you don't give him a chair.
That's what you do. That's what you do. Even there inside, when you strangle us, they sit in chambers. That's what you do. You chase us out.
Okay, we are not going to take long.
Sure.
We've gone way over an hour.
No, that's fine. I'm almost done. So young people in Philippi. Young people in Gugulethu, they are not able to make any business because of extortion. There isn't to even in your portfolio, we are struggling to arrest.
Close the notes.
Hey, you're out of order. So abantu by these areas, especially in our black communities, whatever that we are requesting from national, it won't resolve their issues. Not now, not tomorrow. There is nothing that we are doing that is focusing in our areas. And our people are crying to get at least to be able to make a business. I mean, to be able to walk at night and go to school, to work without being robbed. But if we are focusing on what we are saying, so that we investigate, must be labs so that we are able to do it. We are not. I don't think we are serving people of Cape Town, especially with the high crime that we're talking about. Yeah. I stand by Indweti. We are starting ngendo yokugqibela as city of Cape Town. People of Philippi, people of Siyahlala, Siyanyanzela, people that are living on top of each other. It will not do them justice. I mean, even those that are not criminals, even your own staff within the state of Cape Town that is unable to go to these areas. Sit in Samora, they can't even go Buta just in Gukum. Roads are bad. You can't even drive. In fact, it's even possible that Ian was not able to drive fast because the roads were bad. If it was for him, the blue lights would have been on, off he went, and then we will not be talking about the crime that is happening there. So
okay, let's give him a chance.
He was not driving a blue light, remember?
It's possible. He had a gun.
No, but he was not driving a blue light.
He wanted to drive fast.
Even if the roads were nice, he
wouldn't say. Can you respond to what he said?
You are raising a very important, critical issue here, Jandi, but extortion. But you're not asking it to the right people that are responsible for this. You must ask yourself, why has not been one extortion or top 10 extortionists when it started a long time in Cape Town that have been convicted yet? Why? It's because of exactly that I pointed out earlier on. Because who must run this criminal justice system to ensure conviction is the national sphere of government, which is our sister sphere. All we are doing here, we're talking to our sister sphere. do not divorce
No, that's your mother's
the national
sphere.
sphere.
Actually, it's a
It
mother's
doesn't
sphere.
matter. It's mother's sphere or brother's sphere. You're not asking you're asking the right question, but you're asking to people who don't have control over the police station, over the people that must investigate the crime, over the people that must build evidence and put them there, over the people that must run and produce evidence-based laboratory tests. You're asking the city of Cape Town.
I'm asking the right question to the right person because
So
you
we are
want
saying-
powers.
we are-
Now you are not asking for the right
But Carlos,
powers.
don't disturb and respond. So I might not respond the way you like it, Jan. Now, we will be able to open and make a fight, make a strong fight against this extortion. We are worried. You remember what they did to us, to the My City bus at the beginning when it went to Kailicha, what they did us in Samori, you are correct, in Governor Mbeki, and many other projects. You remember one of our officials was killed in death by the extortionists. So it hampers us. But ask yourself, between the police station and the prosecutor and the magistrate, why are they not convicting at least a top 10 of extortionists? That is not the city of Cape Town. That is not the city. In order to curb the extortionist and the extortion, you need crime intelligence, Chandela. You need crime intelligence. And we are making a point as a democratic lens that it is not properly utilized. The power is there under the national intelligence, under the police subs, but it's not, in our view, we say devolve us at least those layers of the crime intelligence to fight crime. Do not be scared. You will still be the supervisor. You will still be the overseer as the national government or as the police.
They don't want to work together.
But allow us to run this case of extortion up until the.
Can I ask something? This is the last question, and then we're going to wrap up.
Sure.
Do you believe that because every project, like you're talking about My City, and before it was actually on the road, we had the public participation. Do you believe that this devolution of powers, policing powers, should have been taken to the public so that they decide whether they want to be policed by the city or they want to be policed by the national government? In the sense that every project that the city is running, they will go to the community and say, this is our proposal.
Okay, so if you can go to any police precinct in the city and ask people, is your police station failing or succeeding? They will tell you it's understaffed. The cars are standing there, they are flat tires. So to answer you, if it can go for public comments of the public, they will support our view. We're not scared of that. We're not worried that it will have a contrary view. Our people understand the shortcomings of the police station. I mean, people are getting shot in front of the Mitchell's Plain police station. A person was shot in the door of a Nyanga police station. Some of our police stations are guarded by private security. Some of our police stations are locking the lock because of extortion and people that are coming to fetch the firearm by force in a police station. They lock the lock at 11 o'clock. Our public members, we don't have police station as a city of Cape Town. Can you, Chandela, understand that? We don't have police station. We rely on a police station that is aligned with national governments in terms of the law. We're saying unlock this. Give us intelligence to investigate. Give us investigating powers so that we can solve this problem. You are persecuting a guy which is local government, a city of Cape Town, offering a solution, offering a proposal. He is the one persecuted. But like I mentioned earlier, there is a police station in each community. You're not asking why is it not useful to curb the extortion?
For?
It's for investigation, and it's for taking those that are committing crime to court.
No, let's do this.
With those officers that are inside.
Okay, let's make it easy. Mandy, let's make it easy for him. He doesn't know that in your other life, when My City was introduced, you were working for the My City when it was introduced. Recently, on the My City between Mitchell's Plain and Kylie, there were issues of extortion. They were not there. There were no city police. It was a community intervention, pure, including the courts. There was never. They came there. The mayor went there and took photos. You see, when JP Smith is given more powers, they misused two laws, national laws, when they wanted to murder taxis. People, the economy of the city was taken down by J.P. Smith. He took the National Transport Act, tweaked it, and that has led to multiple murders in the city. We can't trust. You see, the public participation on the budget recently has said no to the budget. They bulldozed it to organizations that have an ability. They have to take that to court. They can try and do this now. They can try and take this devolution thing down to public participation. The people of Cape Town will never agree to this thing. But the point I'm making is that the Democratic Alliance City of Cape Town can never be trusted with people's safety. They withhold intelligence that they have already. They say the cameras are working, all 24 are working, meaning they would have seen all of the activities, all the incidents, but they withhold deliberately to build a case for devolution. And in doing so, they perpetrate crime. Actually, they are tampering with crime. They are abating crime. Because Mr. Ngava just told the city now that all their cameras are working.
They are.
If that to be believed, then if that is to be believed, it means then they have all the footage of all the incidents. But they are withholding it from SAPS in order for them to build a case. Actually, they are working with extortionists because they are covering them.
So on the crime,
Can I answer that this is a dangerous accusation?
They are setting them up to
Footage
fail.
is available to South African. There is a relationship here. Let's not create an impression that there is no relationship between SAPS
So
and
what
the
do you
city.
want?
The footage is kept for 30 days. I said the cameras are working in those areas
And they are
where
not
accused.
working.
But there are some that are. The report was
Oh,
in the
there are
report.
some now.
There are some.
There are some now who are working.
There are some that are undergoing maintenance. It's normal.
Which are not working.
They will
That
of
means they are not
course, they are not recording.
So they are not
but
working.
it's not right for that gentleman who said all cameras in
But
Kali
they
are
are
not
not
working.
working. You just said now
But
some.
now, okay, the footage is available to the South African police. There are relationships, Mandilakhe, already that are established, protocol that have been established for a detective to go and say, I need
invite
footage
police,
on number 3 Wayne Street in Kailicha. Can I cut between these times? I will need it as an evidence for me with my docket that I've opened.
So
The
why
detective-
devolve your partner then?
So then the detective are taking that, but that case takes 7 years to 15 years.
Because the DA doesn't want it to.
No, okay, but we're not there in court.
All right. Okay, so now I am just going to take the last remarks. I will time you. A minute each, please.
No,
A
no,
minute
no,
each.
no.
We
Yeah.
are really
Can I-
late.
can I start
Oh, you? Okay, fine.
they
I always
spoke.
start this way. Let's start
We are in
this
the
way.
opposition to get
Okay, fine. Let's hear from the good party. Akolile, can you just give us your departing words?
Okay, so facts. There's 10 police stations in Cape Town that have been in the top 10 since the DA started to rule, since the rule even with the ANC. Top 10 murder, which shows that the DA hasn't done anything about lessening murder in Cape Town, and that's a fact. Fact number 2, which Councillor Ngavasha has confirmed, is that LEAP has failed. Because he said there's LEAP in Philippi, but Ian Cameron was attacked. So he acknowledges that LEAP has failed in preventing crime. Hence, their focus now, it's clear that the DA's focus is not prevention. They don't want to prevent crime, they want to prosecute crime, which means they want to take more young people into prison and make them hardened criminals, which are going to come back and extort us. That's a fact. Secondly, he's admitted that crime is escalating, which means he's admitting that in terms of the DA's work in preventing crime, they failed because it's escalating. Third, he's dismissing the fact that he's calling for crime intelligence, but he's dismissing community intelligence from a CPF member. A CPF member is telling you, this is the intelligence that I have, and he's being dismissed. And is calling for crime intelligence from the police. This is the reason why we need to talk about community policing and community safety, because then you use the intelligence of the people in that community to make sure that you resolve crime. And then the last point, and the question that if he is not able to answer now, maybe he can issue a statement or JP. In the 20 years of DA rule, in social development, what has the DA done to make sure that it contributes to the prevention of crime? Social development. The DA doesn't have a social development department. It had one, but it doesn't now, the city of Cape Town. Social development will deal with those socio-economic issues that we need. The only thing that exists is a community services portfolio, which is only responsible for parks, but it's failing in those parks even. And those are the facts that I would want. He's not going to have answers. If he issues a statement, I would welcome that.
Thank you. Ndithini?
No, look, the ANC.
No. Get up and then.
The cameras.
Okay. No, look, the ANC is not convinced that the DA is asking for the devolution of police powers for the interests of Cape Townians. It is something completely different, and it's something that Cape Townians must come together and unite and challenge. We must fight the DA. I think we have a responsibility, the people of Cape Town, to fight all the nonsense that is said in our name. People are getting mad at. Mr. Ngavashe and I, we are friends generally as human beings. But the policies of the DA are too dangerous for the country because it is a facilitation of the Cape Exit phenomenon. The DA is a funder and a creator of Cape Exit. They want these powers now, police. Mr. Ngavashe says partially, but they are going for the ports. They are aiming for the ports so as to facilitate transcontinental trade with others. When the US is bombing people on the other side, they must come and use this side. So we also know what is the end, what the long game is. There's nothing. This has got nothing to do with prevention of crime in Lavender Hill and Bishop Levis. This is more about JP Smith wanting to have an army for himself, wanting the intelligence exactly for that purpose, to look at the ships coming in and out, but also monitor black activity in Cape Town. Thank you very much.
No,
Ndela?
I think I've been covered by my comrades. However, we must see DA for exactly what it is. It has no appetite or interest of rehabilitating our areas, be that it's roads, be that it's housing, be that generally just the service delivery. If it has, it was their interest in the past 20 years, we wouldn't have Site C the way it is now. We would not have areas of Philippi the way it currently is. We wouldn't have the areas of Marikane the way it's currently, the lower, the way it is. If that was the case, we wouldn't be having this conversation now of policing people or of investigating people. We would be talking about a different conversation. And our people on the ground, if you are not going to see the DA exactly the way it is, come 2026, you'll be stuck with the same DA. And the danger that we have, our brothers in the taxi industry, they've experienced it firsthand because the DA wants to kill that industry. That is why they were killing literally using the bylaws. They want to make way for the My City. They want to kill that industry. Now, one of the things that we should advise, which my comrade has said earlier on, is that policing must be brought into our people, because that is your first intelligence that is your genuine intelligence. Also, we should not be having an operational center that is sitting in Goodwood. City of Cape Town should be investing in operational centers that are closer to our people. You will have the immediate response. You will have your police that is within those precincts. So that is why we're saying their appetite is twisted, and their appetite is placed in the wrong place. I think they must think again, and we must mobilize against what the DA wants to do, and we push for protest for not getting services in these areas that I've mentioned. Your Samora, comrades of Samora, it's time to rise. Khayelitsha, it's time to rise. Kraaifontein is time to rise. Delft is Danun, it's time to rise. We must reject what DA is and what is putting onto us. Thank you very much.
Okay, Ngavashe.
Yes.
I don't need you to respond.
Yeah, I'll just...
I want you to give me your closing remarks.
We will continue assisting South African police in these police stations I've mentioned: Mitchells Plain, Bishop Levis, Elsis, Delft, Manenberg, Lenteghe, Grassy Park, Atlantis, Steenberg, Muizenberg, opposed to our colleagues who are thinking we're sitting back idling. We're not idling. And there are programs in social development, Nokyala, that are dealing with family units, building family strength in communities, in the rental stock, in Athlone, for instance, your Bob Macquarie's, your Hanover Park, and then there's this obsession. There is an obsession, which I understand, that JP Smith is making a lot of contribution in advocating for the legislation change, in advocating for a regime, a change of the regime on how we do things currently, so that we can do them in future better. So. But I see his name is featuring as a bad person, but I mean, he can speak for himself, and the community will speak for themselves. The intelligence part, as a departing point, is that he's correct that CPFs and communities are the source of the raw intelligence. But that information, in terms of the law currently, has to go to the intelligence branch of each province. The city cannot access that. We can't have our own informers legally. We can't have our own tip-offs, people that are tipping us under the line, under the auspices of gathering intelligence. No local authority can gather intelligence under the law now. It will be wrong. So that's why we want this devolution. So we'll continue this devolution. Minister Chakalia, you call him?
Kachalia
has agreed to engage the mayor, so the mayor will put forward. And Mkaya is as part of economic growth of the country, that of the province and the city. It's not harmful to engage on the optimization and using the harbour. Optimize the harbour and use it. In other municipalities in Joburg, they have got smaller airports that are not under the National Government of Transport. Smaller airports that assist, like Van der Bloem. They assist the economy. So you could, if you are a Western Cape province or a city of Cape Town, if you have a harbour that you think that can contribute to the economy, ask for that. You are still under the auspices of the National Treasury. You are still under the President Matamela Ramaphosa. You're not pulling away. So this is an accusation that you are accusing us. You're not pulling, but you are just asking to be in charge of some levers of the economy, because the economy is not growing.
I asked you not to. Not to respond. I asked you for closing remarks. But we're going to end it off there. My name is Mandilakhe Tshwete, and I'm a reporter in Cape Town. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This was Beyond the Headlines with Mandilakhe Tshwete. We will see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.